All right, we're live. Very good, very good. So we have a question a student sent in, and this question was because there's so many other people getting this wrong. So why did all these people get this question wrong? I'm going to screen share with you, and it's an isotonicity question. Okay, so I rewrote it here. I'm not sure the source of the question. All we need to do is figure out a plan. And I have a little formula for you that is going to make your life so much more simple. But let's talk through this first. Okay, the question is asking how many milligrams, I hope you all can see me, or not see me, but see the question that I have here. Okay, good, you can. How many milligrams of NaCl must be added to make the eye drops isotonic? This is what we're going to see so often. And when you see a question that asks for milligrams or grams of NaCl that need to be added to make something isotonic, you're going to use a formula that I provide for you. Okay, you know how there are steps? We saw 3 long steps, long-winded, worded questions in various practice books like UWorld. And that's great if people understand them and know them and can remember them. I can't remember that. I rather make symbols. So that's what I'll do, and I'll share it with you. All right, let's get the concept first, though. So a pharmacist is asked to compound 60 mLs of an isotonic eye drop. Drug X is a liquid with an E value of 0.33. And a sodium chloride will be used to prepare a final concentration of 1 to 500. So now we even have ratio strength involved here. Fun. What's going on? Well, you know what? I'm on a different, I normally like to draw. I draw these little boxes and I show you something isotonic and I make my examples of NaCl. Well, I guess I can't do that right now, but let me do this. By definition, normal saline is isotonic. And we know that normal saline is 0.9% NaCl. This is what we base everything off of when we see an isotonicity question. Here's the next piece of information that is valuable. E value, also called the sodium chloride equivalent, is given. It's given for this question, but it's given so that we can multiply it. It's almost a conversion factor to be able to multiply grams of any drug, multiply that by the E value, and you get what's equivalent to sodium chloride. So then we can work with the numbers together. We can subtract out the grams of sodium chloride. We can move things around. And so imagine this, because I can't draw it. You have 60 mLs, like our question says here. 60 mLs. You want to have 0.9% of sodium chloride in that 60 mLs. But some of that room is going to be taken up with drug X, so we have to remove some of the sodium chloride to make room for drug X. In order to do that, I need to take my drug X, times it by E value. Think of it maybe like density. So it's not going to take up the same room as sodium chloride. So we need to make some changes there. So what I'd like you to do is, for this question, we don't need to know the E value formula. You will need to know it on the test, memorize it. They provide us the E value, so this part is filled in. I'd like you to write this down. How many grams of sodium chloride are needed to be added to make this solution isotonic? You're going to take grams of sodium chloride minus grams of drug times E value. So the first grams of sodium chloride is saying this is how many grams of sodium chloride are needed to make 60 mLs isotonic if we had no drug whatsoever. Then the drug in grams times E value, the answer to that would be its sodium chloride equivalent. We now can subtract it out. and make room for the drug. The answer that we get would be the amount of grams of sodium chloride that need to be added to make the solution isotonic. Okay, let's go back. Why don't I copy this? I'm going to copy that and put it down here. Okay, how many of you are with me so far? Somewhat? If it's isotonic, write in the chat. Write in the chat. Thank you, Steve, for writing in there. I appreciate that. Write in the chat if you understand that product that is isotonic means that it's the same as NS, normal saline. I see there's other people here. Write it in the chat. I'll be your best friend. Thank you. So normal saline is isotonic. So the way I would set this up, since I am looking for grams of sodium chloride needed to make 60 mLs isotonic, I would do this. And this is how you can set up all of your problems to begin with. Grams of NaCl, 0.9 grams over 100 mLs gives us what would be isotonic. So what we're looking for is how many grams would be needed to make 60 grams isotonic, 60 milliliters isotonic. So let's go ahead and cross multiply and divide. I'll take 60 times 0.9 divided by 100. And I get 0.54 equals, the way I'm sharing, I'm not able to show my calculator on screen. So I'm putting it in, and you might just have to do that along with me on your own calculator to prove to yourself that I'm doing it correctly. So we have 0.54 grams of sodium chloride that are needed to make that isotonic. I can even take this, copy, and why don't I place it right below? So I'm filling in the blanks. My next step is to find the grams of drug. I have the E value, I could plug that in, but the grams of drug are going to be found using this ratio strength. So some people think that they always need to change ratio strength to percentage strength, and you simply do not need to do that. It's like taking an extra step. I wouldn't do it personally. Instead of writing 1 to 500, since it is weight per volume, I just lost you for a second. I'm going to log back in. Okay, I need to screen share. I don't know how that happened. Screen share again. Maybe it doesn't want to share the entire screen. Let's do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so ratio strength. You know the trick of 100 divided by 500 to get the percent strength? We don't even need to go there. That's an extra step. So if you can imagine, since this is weight per volume, we just put a grams in front of or after the 1 and milliliters after the 500. Let's rewrite that. 1 gram over 500 mLs. That looks spaced out quite a bit, but you know what I'm doing. You know what I'm trying to do here. Equals how many grams over 60? Because we're talking about the same 60 mLs from the original question. So we, again, can do the same thing, cross multiply and divide. So 60 times 1 divided by 500, and we'll get the amount of grams of drugs. or drug X? How's everybody doing? Type something in for me, would you? Say, hey. If we get people responding, over time we'll start doing this more often. I would like to start doing this and answer students' questions on a regular basis between like 5 and 5:15 or 5:20 every weekday. That's my goal. So if you can hop on with us, send me practice questions, we can start getting the hang of it and we'll do great. Okay, so I definitely got a wrong answer. How do you guys know if you type something wrong in the calculator? I came out with 7.2. So I definitely did something wrong because I know the ratio, that does not line up at all. It's nothing like 1 to 500. So okay, I got 0.12 as X. So here's my X equals 0.12 grams of drug X. I'm taking this 0.12 grams of drug X. I will copy that, put it in here, times the e-value, and the e-value said it was 0.33, 0.33, there we go. All I have to do is put this into my calculator. So I'm putting 0.33 times 0.12. I get 0.0396. Keep as many units on as you can, you guys. Earlier we were working with people and multiple times throughout the day, this happened where people rounded too soon and got a wrong answer. So save your rounding till the very end and you can't go wrong. So I'm subtracting that out. And the answer that I got right now was 0.5004. And I'm double checking. And I remember that this, once I multiplied it, it basically turned into grams of NaCl that I subtracted from grams of NaCl. So it's grams of NaCl. Is that what they were looking for? I just got a message. Are you on here right now? Sarah? I don't know if you're on here. She just put an answer in. Respond, say something if you're there. She might not be on. But what do I need to do now? Well, I'll tell you what I need to do. Check my units. So 3 things that you are going to check every single time you enter an answer in would be, put it in your calculator at least twice. Check your rounding. Check your units. Make sure you're actually answering the question. So is 0.5004 grams, is that what it's looking for? Heck no, it's not. It wants to know milligrams. So I know there's 1,000 milligrams per 1 gram. That would cross out both my grams. I'd be left with milligrams. I am left with 500.4 milligrams. My guess, I'm not seeing anywhere here that it says how far to round. But what if it says to the nearest whole number? If it does, I'm going to say 500 milligrams as my answer. Are there any questions? Okay. Oh, wait, am I looking on the right thing? We're going to stop sharing now. I hope everybody was able to get something out of this. Thank you so much for joining. Send me your questions. We'll review them together. Thank you. Take care. Bye.